Nobody likes a copycat brand, but what happens when the person copying you is a celebrity stylist with an almost $400 million brand? Well, obviously you don't stay silent. Nina April is a celebrity stylist turned entrepreneur, owner, founder, and creative lead for That Girl That Did Your Hair. Arguably, she has created one of the most replicated brands that I've at least seen in the industry, developed through sheer wit, humor, and very memorable branding. What started as an industry nickname during her time as a freelance stylist became her brainchild with a insanely cult following. I mean, I remember the first time I discovered That Girl That Did Your Hair, and I was obsessed. I was just like, this is so funny, clever, but I feel like a lot of clever industry things are targeted to stylists, but it felt very stylist coded first, but your clients and just general customers can get in on the joke too. I just thought the brand was brilliant. Again, I understand why the brand is so successful. It really does open your mind up to what is possible, especially as a stylist who wants to branch out into other avenues of income, because unfortunately you can't be behind the chair forever. Your body has, an expiration time on it, and it comes quicker when you're just constantly go, go, go. That Girl That Did Your Hair is edgy, witty, and honestly, it's such a New York brand. If you're familiar with like East Coast New York vibe, it's such a New York brand. So good. So then why are we here? Enter Jen Atkin. Now, if that name's familiar, Jen Atkin is a celebrity hairstylist, brand founder, and author, most known for her work with the Kardashians. She's still friends with all of them. In 2014, Jen began her digital community and blog, Main Addicts. This is going to be important later on, so put a pin in that thought for just a second. In 2016, she launched Way Hair Care, which expanded into fragrance in 2017 and body care in 2018 to 19. She would go on to publish a memoir in 2020 called Blowing My Way to the Top. I have read it. If you would like a review on that book, give this video a thumbs up. I would love to reread it, honestly. And then she would go on to launch a hair tool and accessory collection through Main Addicts, simply called Maine. She's a busy woman. Why we're gathered here today. Nina woke up and chose violence one July afternoon and decided to call out Jen directly for stealing her wit, her marketing ideas, and creative direction. I mean, she even continues on to encourage Jen to just put her on the payroll if she would like to keep copying her brand, and she would happily help with creative for Way and Maine. This has turned into almost a series now, and it doesn't just stop with Jen Atkin and Way. I actually woke up the morning that I'm filming this video, and it's quickly becoming a series of her calling out brands that are ripping off her marketing, but it doesn't make sense. And I already know what you're thinking. It's probably just coincidence. Like, how close could this really be? Oh no, Nina has receipts of Jen and a new one, like I said today, that I found. And in the case of Jen Atkin, unfortunately for Jen, she was aware of who Nina April was and had written about her and That Girl That Did Your Hair on Main Addicts, not once, twice, maybe even 3 times back in 2018. Now, I do want to put a little note in here that I did try to use the Wayback Machine to find this article because it has since been deleted. However, in the video clips that I will show you from Nina, she does have examples of Main Addicts writing up about her and her brand. There's proof. It's just unfortunately been deleted at this point in time.
Another episode of a big business taking from a small business, but they know exactly who you are because they have wrote you up several times. She has been taking my wit since the day she wrote me up in 2018. She wanted to contact me because people on her team thought that the name she was naming her brush was very similar to mine. Her brush is called Ready or Not. My brush is the Naughty Brush. Can you not? The trademarks. On the phone call, she was very condescending. It wasn't a conversation. Like, she was telling me that it was already printed. I launch a hair tie case. They always came on cardboard. Now she launches a hair tie case. Okay. Not only for one brand, 2 brands. Diabolical. 2026, she launches hair ties, Naughty Girl hair ties. My hair ties are called Can You Not Tie. My whole marketing campaign for my Naughty Brush, my slogan was feeling naughty. My naughty girl, can you not my problem, all the knots. So after that launch, she launches Feeling Flaky. Similarity, again, that was in 2021, okay? We are in 2026. This week, she launches a whole campaign on Naughty. Not only did we have this conversation why this is so personal? She actually used the slogan feeling naughty. So this is intentional. Naughty girls. Okay, I'm gonna enter some clips.
Let's go find our naughty girls.
She's like, who's your creative director? I'm the creative director. I am that girl. I asked her, who's your creative director? Because there's very similar comparisons to our content. Someone from her team asking me this question. Maybe you should ask someone on payroll. She took my marketing thinking she can get away with it.
Coming up with things that will like get people's attention. That's why sometimes I get in trouble because I do things that are a little naughty with marketing, but I think it's fun.
Always love your naughty taglines.
You don't have to like get passion to do things.
Yeah.
Aren't you pushing 50 years old? Like, what example are you trying to give? Intention for this video and my message is, if you're inspired by a creator, collaborate. Hire them. I'm gonna go see her poster and show her what free advertising feels like.
Now, if you're not a brand owner or creative in general, you're probably thinking like, is this really that big of a deal? Yeah, it is. When you've done such a great job branding your business, cultivating a following, and curating a brand voice that's so distinct in your niche, only to have somebody rip it off in ways that don't make sense, it matters. This situation opens the door for a larger conversation about what happens when major corporations and large brands steal from smaller creatives, businesses, and artists. Think back to the Kylie lip kit debacle.
Kylie Cosmetics was recently under fire after it was revealed that the iconic lip kit logo was taken from makeup artist Vlada Haggerty. TMZ reports that Vlada's lawyers claimed Kylie Cosmetics had a, quote, history of taking Haggerty's original dripping lip art and passing it off as Kylie's. However, Kylie's legal team has stepped in with a quick fix. In exchange for Haggerty dropping legal action, Kylie is simply promoting the makeup artist on her Instagram for her 84.2 million followers to see. So Kylie doesn't get sued and Vlada gets, well, she gets a shout out on Kylie's Instagram. This is a seriously classic win-win situation.
Not only is it just plain shitty to steal somebody else's work, it's also misleading. It can create brand confusion and messaging confusion. And when trademarks are involved, it can open the door for legal issues that, well, yes, a major corporation can afford to be in. It's just like unnecessary and a waste of everybody's time. Like I said previously, Nina does a very good job of showing how messaging can get confusing when a brand is just trying to rip off branding from a competitor or a similar brand and does not understand in creative direction and messaging and advertising as a whole.
I'm gonna do a little creative direction storytelling. When you take someone's voice or content, it doesn't always resonate, right? Let's pull up their campaign. They're promoting Be Naughty on a hairbrush, and the hairbrush is an extra dirty martini. What world would I want my hairbrush to be extra dirty? So I actually did a dirty campaign when I launched in 2017. I launched it on a hat. So my product is a dirty hat. You wear a hat when your hair is dirty, right? And I made it white because that's the dirtiest. That is a perfect example of storytelling when you're being witty and it's tying it together. Okay, these images right here are the perfect example of taking someone's content idea, doesn't always resonate, and it's not telling the same story. The director looking at way, this is telling me if I buy your shampoo, my hair is gonna fall out in the shower. This is my biggest fear, is seeing my leftover strands on the shower tile, not adding to cart. Okay, so this is my Dead Ends marketing campaign for Salon Centric for my Dead Ends cutting cape. So my photo is giving you the experience of a haircut. These are the leftover strands and I made a font out of it.
At the time of outlining this video, I haven't seen or heard any response from Jen Atkin or her team. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see if she chimes in, but I really don't think she's going to, if I'm being honest. As I try to do in videos like this, I want to share actionable advice and tips and not just add to the gossip and inflate a situation into just drama. So now that you know what's going on and you're caught up to speed on the situation at hand that inspired this discussion, I want to dissect how you can not steal a brand or branding and steps you can take to make sure you're not just building a copycat brand. The first step is always going to be to know your brand. Before you start any kind of business, before you even launch, you should know who you are, what you're doing, why you do it, how you do it, who you're serving, and how you're doing it differently than your competitors. Answering these questions helps you determine the mission of your brand, and this mission becomes your purpose. It's the backbone to every decision you make, anything from product to service creation, all the way to marketing direction. Once your mission's in place, then you're able to better sculpt out your vibes, your brand voice, and it will always tie back to this mission as well as your target audience or market. Brand voice is a brand's public identity and how it expresses its values, point of view, and attitudes. Establishing a unique brand voice is essential to a business because it keeps your messaging consistent and recognizable for your target audience. The next thing is inspiration, but not imitation. We all get inspired every single day by a variety of things: what we wear, what we eat, the coolest new restaurant, even our favorite color. As a business owner, it's important though to kind of have tunnel vision of how and when you are inspired by things and what that inspiration means for your business. It's very easy to just look at your competitors, see what's working for them, and then just try to replicate it. But if it doesn't make sense with your mission, your purpose, and your messaging, it's never going to work. Sometimes it might even hurt your reputation with your audience and even slow business growth or even influence decline in business. For me personally, I try to look for inspiration for my business outside of the hair and beauty space. So I will turn to film and music and fashion and art and try to use elements outside of just beauty to inspire what I'm doing with clients, to inspire ideas for photo shoots. And then once I'm inspired, it's not how can I copy this? It's what do I like about this? What feeling is this evoking in me that I can then replicate to make my audience feel that with my business? And then I can decide how to execute it through messaging, whether that is visually, through text, through audio, through experience, through messaging and storytelling. Copying is just never the goal. Collaboration. Now, it's totally okay to call in reinforcements and ask for help when you need it. My only asterisk with that is to make sure you really know your brand before calling in somebody else to help you with your messaging and storytelling. And this could mean bringing in a creative director for a specific campaign, or even partnering with another brand within your same niche within your industry, or where there's market overlap, to create something truly unique and special with both brands. Collaborating is so much better than copying. Anytime, 10 out of 10 would recommend. At the end of the day, every single launch, brand activation, marketing campaign, whatever you do should tie back to your brand mission as well as your audience. If it doesn't, or if it doesn't make sense, go back to the drawing board and rework until it does. The minute that your messaging feels forced or misaligned, your audience will notice and trust will weaken altogether. As someone who's been a fan of both Way and That Girl That Did Your Hair, it is really sad to watch this situation unfold. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me look at Jen a little differently. Were you aware of this call out at all before watching this video? Or is it the first time that you're hearing about it? Do you have any examples of your own work being copied from a larger creator? Maybe a large brand stole something of yours? Seems like that happened a lot back in the Tumblr days, of brands just like ripping people's artwork off Tumblr and then mass producing it and not giving any credit or money or anything. But yeah, I want to talk about it in the comments below. I really hate when this happens because I'm a hairstylist, so I mean, not everything I do is like reinventing the wheel, obviously, but like I do have my own brand that I am cultivating, and I've had people local to me try to rip off things that I'm doing, and it didn't make sense. So I get the frustration for sure. My partner also has his own brand and he does art, and a big tongue-in-cheek part of his brand is that like really nothing is original anymore, but he still has to come up with his own designs. He still has to come up with his own work. There's still a message and a story behind the brand. If you ever had experience of your brand being ripped off, maybe some art being stolen, whatever, I'd love to chat in the comments below. I hate seeing this happen because there really is room for anyone building something to build, and it's just frustrating. And I agree with Nina, like put her on the payroll if you're going to just keep ripping off her brand. I don't really know what the answer is, but I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed this style of video, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know to make more videos like this in the future, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. I do my best to upload every Sunday on this channel. Thanks for hanging out today, and I'll catch you in the next one.